Good afternoon. I would like to welcome all of you to this session again on the Certified Management Consulting Program. And this is our second lecture, whereby we are looking on one of the elective subjects of which a person has option to do the exam and become a certified leader after covering 3 sessions. But the issue is not about certification. The issue we are gearing onto is to ensure that you get the grasp of understanding. As I said, our motto is to develop soft skills in the people. We believe that there are great leaders in this country, there are great leaders in this world. Notwithstanding that fact, most of them have never gone through any formal training in leadership. Or, as we speak about it, it's about soft skills on how to manage people in a different perspective. I'm not talking about HR management, I'm talking about leadership program. And therefore today, it's another session again, and a facilitator before you, I'm Mr. Sako Merrick. And today again, we're gonna cover some areas as part of our management consulting program. But today, we'll be looking on the leadership basics, that is understanding some practical issues in the leadership. So our leadership certification program is divided into some 6 parts, starting from the introductory part to the major part and the final part. I will just explore through it as we go through our coverage this very afternoon. So to start with, one of the greatest quality of leadership, go to the church leadership, religious leadership, or to even any leadership at family level, national level, even international level. One of the supreme quality of a person called a leader is integrity. I repeat it. One of the supreme quality of someone to be a leader is integrity. So whatever you can teach here, whatever you can say about, you need to improve on your integrity. Lack of integrity will soon bring you down. There is no way you can go far if you lack the so-called integrity. So it's very important, and it's of a paramount requirement that you ensure that your integrity is up and is very current. Now, to go further from there, let's try to see what really is our learning objective on this very training. What really is our intention? What really we want to achieve out of all this coverage you're going to do today. Number 1, the objective is to help you to start building your leadership skill, to work together with you and build your leadership capability and the skills. Number 2 is to provide you some tools and tips that will enable you to take this lesson we are training you back to your practical life, back to your life, so that you may be able to grasp a great understanding and focus of this endeavor. We believe that you might be working or employed or working, but provided you're working, provided you are doing your business, provided you've got a family, provided you're a family person, automatically you are a leader. Number 3 is to provide some practical insights on improvement of leadership capabilities. To start with those, to see those around you and react based on the knowledge that you acquire from this very training. Number 4 is to enable you to understand both the negative and the positive side of the leadership. Both the negative and positive side of leadership, because there are some of the things we'll see later that are important also for your better and great understanding. Number 7 is to gain practical understanding on the rules, sometimes we call it laws of leadership. And further is to understanding new age leadership approaches. We are under almost past 21st century. We are talking about Internet of Things, and the life is changing so fast. So some of the old models of leadership have passed with time. But also is to provide the informed understanding of servant leadership theories and practice. And lastly, after covering this lecture, you'll be able to gain understanding on the supervisory skill as you become both a leader and a manager. We shall see how we go about that. So to start with, our aim is to underscore what really is the so-called leadership. And that requires an in-depth and magnitude of going through the process and underscore what really the leadership is, and trying to see some of the concepts in leadership. Particularly, a leader might have a vision, but the issue is, how do you share the vision? You must be able to inspire others. How do you motivate? How do you save? How do you have some empathy on some critical and practical issues of life? But also to be able to listen. A leader is a person who listens. If you lack listening skill, you can never be a leader. Ability to put your ear over somebody and comprehend what he says or what she says. But also is to lead and guide by managing, because those are inseparable roles sometimes. How do you be a team that will work together to achieve common goal, but also ability to take risk because of opportunities and foresee what's going on, being able to gauge, but also the process of continuous improvement. I was looking somewhere in the afternoon, and someone put up the grasses, and they say, there are some horrible things I see when I put grasses, because a leader should be able to see afar before others and approach his path to be there and help the team and the people who are following him or her to reach the best potential and capability expected. So what really are the skills you want to build? We want to give to you or to embed in you some tools, behaviors, and capabilities which will help you to motivate and direct others. So what really we are trying to enforce is to ensure that you have got sufficient tools, behaviors, and capabilities. When you talk about a mechanic that is doing repair work of a car, or a mason that is building up a house, you need to have some working tools that will help him to do better. But not only tools, what kind of behavior, how does he behave? And lastly is, what kind of capability to do that work, including which is built up by skills, knowledge, and understanding. So the aim of leadership, typically, leadership is the ability to influence others to achieve common goal. I repeat, leadership is about ability, your ability to influence others to achieve common goal. Leadership is about your ability to influence others to achieve common goal or to achieve a particular goal. It is the way to inspire others, to make others to see some qualities, some things in you that will make them to come closer to you, to learn from you, to consider you that you are inspiration to their life. That requires tools, behaviors, and capabilities. And typically, what we need is how do you get some skills to help another person to become the best of who he can be or who she can be? That's typical leadership. How do you help another person to become the best of who they can be? Are the leaders born? That may be my question to you. Do you think, when you look on leadership characteristics you know about, are the leaders born? Maybe we need to think about it. Do you think leaders are born? When you talk about Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, when you talk about Ali Hassan Mwinyi, when you talk about Mama Samia Suluhu Hassan, what you see now, is she born with those capabilities or something is in her? What about Martin Luther King? And what about Nelson Mandela? Why people become followers of him? Why people decided to follow him? Are they born? To be honest with you, 90% of any leader you see is perspiration, and 10% is inspiration. So they are born with some talents, with 10%, which any person could be. We have got some people who are the worst people, but after being trained, exposed, obtained mentorship, they become the best leaders in the world. A person like Barack Obama, you can see how he was committed to learn about leadership. Why I'm saying so, because the background of Barack Obama, the former president of the United States, was not that very good to see in him some capabilities of leadership. But what we saw is he was able to steer the course of direction of America until now we see America is the way, or is shaped the way it is. But we saw the next president who was, we can say that was born, you can say about Donald Trump, because of the background. Notwithstanding, he never lasted even after the first term. What are the things that make them to be able to deliver the best value, to be able to have major followers and people? Those are the things we are trying to establish through this training. So some of the things which you see these people have, number one, they are committed to vision and mission. They are the people who, they have vision. A leader should have vision. If you are employed in a sector, assume that you're employed, or you're working as a leader in a particular society, a first and foremost thing is for you to separate yourself from other people, having a bigger picture of what you want to achieve. I was reading a book which I will send to you as you see about it. It's about the Emir of Dubai. And he explained about vision in a very succinct and a better clarity that I've never seen before. How he was seeing Dubai to go to, and what the picture of Dubai had before maybe 20 years ago. After 10 years kind of achievement he made, and now we see Dubai as if it's another world by itself. So he had vision, and typically he had to create some activities to achieve the vision. But also, to be a best leader, you need to understand what is your role. You can't be a leader at the same time a follower. There is nothing like that in the world. You need to choose very clearly whether you are a leader or you are a follower. But also need to be careful here. You can't be a leader on everything. There are some specific things that you become a leader unto. We shall see later. But also, all of the leaders you know about, the best leaders you know about, they've demonstrated integrity. Integrity is about saying, living what you say. It's about saying what you live. So don't confuse the religious integrity and the integrity we are trying to consider here. Here we are considering the integrity whereby what a leader tells people, what the leader believes to be correct, he should live by it. Ability to say something and do it. Ability to promise something and deliver. Ability to live of your qualities, of your ethics, of your values. That we call it leadership. But also you must be able to distinguish yourself afar from others. Set an example. You must show people that it's doable, rather than waiting until somebody pushes you. But also, you must be able to look on the behavior of others. For example, assume you're a leader of a department or a section in your organization, and the people, they're always late. They come to the office late. They don't commit themselves to work hard. And soon after the time which you're supposed to close the office is over, everyone is packing his bag and everything he has before even the time is over. When the time is over, it's like someone is releasing them from a jail. Now assume you're a leader in such kind of environment. How would you inspire people and establish behavior set that will enable them to come early to the office, but also even to stay further to support delivery of value to the company? Those are the kind of things we want to show you. But also ability to communicate. And that's why in part of this leadership training, the public speaking skills and communication skills is core. So how do you communicate effectively? You need to ask yourself, how do you deliver a message at home? Also in that, all those leaders you know about, they do another quality, ability or willingness to take risk. I remember the story of Mwalimu Julius Nyerere. When Tanzania was about to get independent in 1958, he had to resign from his job, he had to resign from being a prime minister so that he may fight for the independence. It was a risk because by then the country was under leadership or rulership of one of the powerful countries in the world, the United States, the Great Britain. And in that regard, he took risk. He took risk to travel everywhere. He took risk to use a Land Rover to go in very remote parts of the country. Sometimes they had to have sleepless night. Sometimes they had to hide themselves from every attack. So a leader is a person who takes risk. But also a leader should be adept to problem solver. Certain level of problem solving skills are needed to a leader to be able to address critical issues in the place of work, in the family, in the business, in the place he's doing it. Whatsoever mission he has in mind, he should be able to solve difficult and complex problems. And that requires certain skills in you. Now, looking on those sets, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, until 8, you find that they are learnable. So leaders are not born, they are made. They can be self-made or they can be made by people. Now, all this together, we can conclude that as we train through this program, you'll be able to grasp the majority of those skills. And I believe that after finishing this program, you'll exhibit certain qualities that will propel you further towards your leadership mindset. So let's see what are the qualities of a very successful leader. What are the qualities of a very successful leader? Mind you, one of the major problems that is facing a weak leadership is burnout. I was working in a certain company 2 years before. I was working for a certain company. And everyone was working very hard, including the top management. People were having sleepless nights. People working very hard on themselves to ensure that they achieve the best for the organization. And it becomes too much. And there was experience of burnout, failure to complete work, abscondment. Everyone is sick. Everyone has got them excused from duty. And there was a loss of respect because it was too much. And then I was supposed to be as a consultant to establish what is there. How do I diagnose there's a problem and how do I address it? Now management, they come with a proposal saying that this problem should be solved by training, extensive training. I said no. If I am an advisor to this company, what I see as diagnostic is lack of proper vision and mission. So I need to work back on the strategy. And everybody should buy a strategy. So we went through a drill of 6 weeks. And fortunately, after the end of that, at least there was no burnout. People working on according to regular time. They had established targets and everything. You know, in life, because of weak leadership, people might try to do like what others are doing, whereby you don't know the basis and foundation of what others are doing, because you might copy from someone but cause more disaster than solution to setup. You may force it, but it cannot work. There is no way you can take an engine for particular make to put in another make. It might be difficult unless there is a lot of change. We expect that the design is very important. Rather than copying and pasting, some people are copying the leadership style from one industry to another. Want to be like Bakresa. But do you know how can it be like Bakresa? It's not an easy move. Start slowly, maybe 40% for like Bakresa, then 60% like Bakresa, and then 100% like Bakresa. But you cannot push the entire team you're leading to achieve the top. You say, I've got stretch target. No way. You fail. And the result into failure. And that's what we're going to learn or to understand in this training. Now, what are the qualities? What are the traits you find in a leader? Number one, a leader must have desire to lead. I remember meeting some guys and you ask him, if you give any leadership position, what do you like? He said, no, I don't want to be a leader. Yeah, I can't. I don't want. I want to get instruction from someone. Do this, do that. Let's go like this. But to lead, I'm not ready to take that challenge. So, even this training, unless you don't want to come to the best of yourself, then you can compromise for the moderate. But in you, there are some talents which can be invigorated, can be excited to make a difference to the marketplace. Notwithstanding that, the purpose of our life is two things. Number one is to serve others. Now, to serve others means become leader on whatever talent you have. We don't have equal talents. We got different talents. So, misuse of your talent also is a challenge. So, I'm trying to convince you that ever desire to lead. Ever desire to lead. Now, don't think about being a boss is leadership. No. Or being appointed by president on a particular post is leadership. No. That's not leadership. I'll talk about it. We'll talk about. That's why you can see some leaders in our country exhibit some behaviors which are questionable, whether they're really leaders or they don't know even why they're there. So, number one is desire to lead. Number two is commitment to mission and vision. Commitment to mission and vision. Commitment to the big picture. People must see that you are living of what you say you are living. We shall talk further on this in course of this coverage. But also, we expect that a leader should have high level of integrity, doing what you say you will do, and behaving in the way that you expect others also to behave. So forget about that saying that listen to my words but don't do what I say. No. People never listen to you. I've got a food of thought here on the screen, and you find that this person went for interview or to lead a team somewhere, and an interviewer asked him, any leadership experience you have? And very fortunate, this man was very intelligent than anybody else, and he said, I have 13 people following me on Twitter. Which it's like laughter, but it means a lot. At least some people trying to emulate what he believed to be the correct set of belief or understanding on particular issues in life. But also there is second food of thought. There is this question whereby in another organization a person went for a job of leadership, and the question which the manager there asked was, why did you leave your last job? And it is funny, it made me to laugh in the afternoon. This guy put a very funny answer, which is how people can respond to those things. He said, the company relocated and didn't tell me where. So he is such a burden in the company, such a you don't know even the decision to relocate has come to the company. As he went back on Monday, he never knew that the company was shifting on Saturday. And it's not even time to look on the internet whatsoever. He went to the office and find we are closed. and then he decided to find another job. But also it has got a moral side. Leaders should communicate. Leaders should communicate to enable those people who are led to understand the philosophy, the dignity, and the direction of the leadership. But also, I've got these two other funny food for thought. And this guy was talking. He said, you either lead, follow, or get out of the way. But never try to do the three. This man was sick. And you can see he has got bandages everywhere. Why? Because he overworked himself. He wanted to be a leader. He wanted to be a follower. He wanted to do everything. That is not possible in leadership. So you must be able to delegate the implication and the effect of whatsoever things you are reading about. But also you find another boss on the left, on the right. He said, he's talking to subordinates saying, think different, but not different from me. That is, follow my instruction very proper. And this is a modern boss's kind of approach. But this is very typical weakness in leadership, because you expect a leader to be able to understand and apply innovative approaches from subordinates to make a difference in the organization. So after having to think about all that, the question comes still, what are the traits of leadership? What are the things that distinguish a person to be a leader and a non-leader? Which is essence of the skills you want to build. What kind of skills a leader should have? And when you go to assessment gap, you should be able to portray the true skills of that leader and what they have for the organization. Now, to go deep to that, there are 8 major qualities of leadership, which is very important for us to understand today. Number 1, now please, may I ask you, if you've got a pen and a piece of paper, write this down and put your marks on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 is very poor. 10 is excellent, top of it. I repeat, on each of this behavior, write on a sheet of paper as we go through, and then rank yourself. This is called leadership self-assessment. I'm trying to see where are you. So a ranking is between 1 to 10. 1 means very poor. 10 means top or excellent. So to start with, let's start with the honesty. And that is about integrity. In order to build trust. Not to lie. I'm telling you, I've worked for a number of years. And there is nothing which hurts an employee when a leader or a supervisor is not straight, is not honest. He meanders around when you want to explain something which is very important for the organization. Some people are afraid by nature. They are afraid, they have got a terror, they have got worries unnecessarily. But to be honest to your subordinate, to the people around you, is a critical role of becoming a best leader. Wisdom does not mean lack of honesty. Wisdom is how do you communicate some sounding information and ideas. But all in all, honesty is a baseline to improve trust and relationship. A leader should be honest to himself. Even at family level, when a person discloses some misdemeanor, some evil, it might be artful, but in the end of the day, it might bring a family back together to achieve the best of the life they wanted. Number 2 is commitment. That is doing what you say and say what you do. Commitment. I will start the meeting at 2 a.m. 2 a.m. sharp, you're starting a meeting. I'll be in the office at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, you are in the place. I will start this business by so and so date, working every way, every hard to ensure that you are reaching what you promise. Whatever you promise, make sure you fulfill. That makes you to be a distinguished person. That makes you to be a distinguished leader. So fulfilling what you said, it's critical. Today you've got leaders who will say, I'll call you by so and so time, and never call. The leader will say that we'll just have a meeting at so and so time. Before you know it, he's calling himself Mr. Busy. Brothers and sisters, pharaohs, they have lost the leadership mantle. They're just blazing iron, useless tools. They cannot influence anyone. They use power to disconnect themselves from people. And in that regard, their failure might be very great. They have nothing to show as leaders in the end of their tenure. So commitment is critical. Commitment is very relevant for the leadership. Number 3 is inspiration. That is to help others to feel that they are very important to help the organization or achieve the organizational goal. A leader who is every time rebuking the people, every time showcasing himself to be the best because of his inner hidden weaknesses. Many times it's not because of whatever, it's because of stupidity of his, and they think that people don't see him the way he sees. It's like someone covering a jacket on top of the body and leaving the feet outside. Everyone sees it. So you must be inspiring to support, to encourage others to be the best of whom they can be. Number 4 is humility. Leaders are humble. Now, humbleness does not mean timidity. Humbleness does not mean stupidity. Humbleness is the ability to stay calm in a difficult situation. Ability to stay calm in a difficult situation. Things might not be going the way it's one. Things might not be turning the better, but how do you take that is for you to be able to persevere. Number 5 is about fairness. That is, a leader should be objective and should be not unwavered, should be highly objective. It should be fair. His judgment on the staff and people should be based on the objective, not otherwise. Number 6 is positive mindset. Positivity. That is ability to ensure the team is positive about any development. But today we find the leaders going to the team and the harassing team members, going to the team and submit bad news. So you must be positive. Never allow negativity to come in whatever you do. Number 7 is confidence. Confidence means staying calm when things turn to be bad. Staying calm when things don't go the way expected. Remember, one of the example I can give about this is one of my senior boss, my leader in one of the organization. In the morning, I can just say something so that you can understand. In the morning at 9 a.m., he received news from someone that his very lovely child, the firstborn, who was almost 35, has passed away. That man, instead of panicking, instead of moving everywhere, instead of not knowing even what to do, he remained calm. He finished everything on his table. He called the staff meeting normal way, and then after staff meeting, he broke the news that I need to go now because my only son is dead. But he was able to compose himself. He stayed calm during all that time that is expected for him to achieve or to do what he was supposed to do. So confidence is critical to any leadership. It's critical to a leader. You must be confident. And your people whom you are leading, they will be very happy when they find you've got confidence because they know you're protecting them. to help them to achieve the best. And number 8 is what to call ability to communicate effective. That we call it effective communication. That we call it effective communication. That we call it effective communication. So a leader should be able to communicate anything succinctly and intelligently. Succinctly and intelligently. Communication is about sending a message, sending something to the people in a way that will be able to take action and take and be able to fulfill or to work to achieve the objective that you intend. So from there, I would like us to now look on our analysis. Look on our analysis and trying to see where are you in the context of leadership. So we'll break for 5 minutes, and I would like you to measure yourself and give us the answer on scale of 1 to 10, having known what each of the scale is about. What really is your level of leadership? What about in honest? We say number 1, you are very worse. Number 10, excellent. Are you honest? And be honest to yourself. This is the measure also. Ability to evaluate yourself. What about commitment? Are you able to say what you do and do what you say? Are you inspiring to your children, to your family, wherever you go? Do you have humility? But also, what about, are you fair? Are you looking on objectives? So fairness does not mean to relax the rules. No. Fairness means to stand by the objectives. Are you positive? Or many times you are blaming even your own life. Do you have confidence? But also, what about your communication capabilities? So I'd like to get the answers in the scale of 1 to 10, and please, as you answer it, would like to hear the feedback. So we are breaking for the next 5 minutes, and then please just have your time to relax and answer those questions, and also trying to memorize what you have covered so far. So just next 5 minutes, and then we'll be back. Thank you very much for our first session. When we covered in the first session is understanding of the leadership and the qualities of the leader. Understanding of what is leadership and the qualities of a leader. We also looked on, are the leaders born or made? And we concluded that leaders are made. 10% is inspiration and 90% is perspiration. So you can learn the skills of leadership and become the best leader we can have in this country. Thank you very much. So meet you after 5 minutes. Thank you. All right. So I welcome you back, and I believe that you have lettered yourself so well. At least at one time, we shall have time to review your letting. And total marks is 80. If you look there very well, it is expected that as you begin to understand, your score should be at least 40. So if it's lesser than 40, it means you need more effort and energy to make a difference, to become a better leader or a best leader in your life. So don't worry, that's the purpose of this training. But if you are 80 to 80, then we need to question about your integrity. All right, I'm just kidding. But at least after this training, you should be able to get yourself. And we shall repeat this question to see whether this training has brought any greater thing in your life or not. But it's my belief that at the end of this training, you'll be able to deliver the best of who you are. And mind you, the example, what we have, being an example is not the main thing in influencing others. It is the only thing. You need to become an example of what you want others to do. That's leadership. And that's, if you look on your boss, you may find a lot of failures. If you look on someone, you call him a leader in particular society or in a social setting or in a particular political setting, you may have a lot of questions. Because you need to be an example of what you say. That's leadership. Look on all religious leaders, whether it's from Muslim background, the leader of Muslim, you see who are the Christians, and you see their leader, Jesus Christ, how he was. In any religious setting you can talk about, you find them to be leaders. Why? Because they exhibited the quality they expect from others. They are not people say, do what I say and don't do what I do. That's not leadership. That's something else. We'll talk about it later. So to go further from there, please take again your paper, and on a scale of 1 to 10 again, let's go through this some few questions. Mind you, you're trying to change behavior, trying to ask you a question so that you may be able to understand as we go on with our training. We want to test it. We said in the beginning that one of the important things to become a leader is a desire to lead. Do you have that desire? If you don't have that desire, then automatically maybe you're not a candidate for leadership. Do you have that desire to lead? That is, you've got some qualities, some characters that can be used as exemplification to others. Now you need to be wise and understand me from this perspective. There is nothing called leadership without a vision. And there is nothing called leadership without a mission. I repeat, there is nothing called leadership without a vision. There is nothing called leadership without a mission. When a company decides to employ a leader, it means it wants him to have those qualities, 8 qualities, and buy in to the vision and mission of a company to achieve the best, to influence people, to do their best and achieve the great mission and vision of a company. We shall talk about it in course of this discussion. So from that perspective, from that insight, let's go through this question. Question number 1, do you enjoy when others seek your idea or opinion? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 means I don't enjoy at all. 10 means, yeah, I enjoy so much. So the question is, do you enjoy really when people ask for I seek an idea about you? Do you really enjoy? That's a very important question. Number 2, do you mind when a team member asks a challenging question when you're working on the project? Do you get irritated when others ask very complicated or very difficult question to you? Are you getting irritated, or you find yourself enjoying it and you feel that you are responsible to help that person to grow? On a scale of 1 to 10. Number 3, Do you like supporting others on your team? And you can help them during the bad and the good times. I remember the first time I saw my subordinate. She was a married woman. And she came in the office late. We had a lot of things to do together so that we may fulfill certain objective. And based on my understanding on leadership, I'd use every means to rebuke her, to speak to her harshly, but I'd to come down and ask her, just to realize that the husband has left home and left her helpless, and she don't know what to do next. And that's what really happened to her life. Now, as you go to understand people, it makes you to be more empathetical, to feel that you need to help them than to be away from them. You need to support them than running away from what they need. Question number 4. Are you comfortable putting your team interest before your own interest? And that requires certain level of commitment. Your interest might be to get promotion. Your interest might be to get a good name. Your interest might be to make a difference on a particular issue or particular sect. But now, in the end of the day, it's about the mission you want to achieve together with your team that matters most. And that should be your real approach. That should be your real approach. Question number 6. Are you comfortable letting others take your idea and put them into action? Do you enjoy when you establish an idea? Remember, some people, when the quotation they make, they want to see their name down there. Everybody should know who are they. Brothers and sisters, fellows, you never go far with that attitude. You need to be able to deliver. The more you give people ideas, the more you give people insight, the better you become. And the best you be in whatsoever you're doing. Question number 7. Number 6. Are you working with a group of facilitates team spirit? We shall talk about team spirit in course of this discussion later. Question number 7. Do you like playing the role of a coach to help others improve their skills? Do you like to help others to improve their skills? Or you don't enjoy it? Because this is a test of leadership. Whether you like it or you don't like it measures who you are. Do you like to make others to improve their skills and their capability? Question number 8. Do you prefer to resolve personal conflicts on a team rather than let them continue? Do you like to resolve issues out, or you want things to continue? So put a scale of 1 to 10 and be honest. We say that the best top leadership quality is integrity. Number 9, can you have a product discussion even when others don't disagree with you? Can you stand on your own? You propose an idea and everybody says, this cannot work, this is not possible. Can you stand on your own? Question number 10. When you look for opportunities, for example, you want to grasp a particular market. For example, you might be going on the internet, assume you're working on the hotel industry, or you're working on a certain company, or working for the business growth. Then you put up an idea on the internet and people started coming to the business. Will you agree somebody else to take a credit on your behalf as part of your team? That shows if you can be a leader or not. But also, number 11, do a product discussion even when others disagree with you. And number 12, when there's a problem in your team, assume your subordinates or people you're working with, do you think that's your problem? Are you selfish on yourself? Or you'd like also to share others' problems? And lastly, do you like to generate ideas and share them with the team? Do you like to generate ideas and share them with the team? Or you like to work yourself on those ideas? What is your level on that? So there are a total of 130 questions. There are a total of 13 questions, taking a total of 130 points. So it's expectation that at least to show your desire, you need to have some 85 out of 110 minimum. Lesser than that, you've got more work to do. And please, on the YouTube channel, send us requests for more books if you feel that you need to understand this subject in a better way. I would like to have a food for thought a bit before we go to our second part of coverage. And that is, what is your life mission and what is your life vision? Vision is about what you want to be in next 5, 10, 30 years. What you want to be. That's vision. Mission is how are you going to be there. Is a high level statement of how are you going to be there. Now, I said that there is no way you can talk about leadership without a vision, without a mission. To be able to discuss or to talk about leadership, you need to have a very clear and succinct vision and mission. So one of the things you need to sit down and address most is to have a developed vision and mission, showing your perspective of the future. That's critical. You can see on the food for thought there, I think there is a board meeting. There is a board chairman there in front, and there are 2 women, 2 men, gender sensitive. On the wall, there are some pictures of company success. Now, this person in front is a leader, but when he looks on the company, he has got some question marks. That is really the company achieving what they want to achieve. There is no vision, no direction. So people are confused. You know, it's just like living for nothing. Why are you living? What really the purpose of your living? So many companies, they've lost that. But that is a failure of leadership. When leaders, they are selfish. When leaders, they want to achieve their own egos instead of company's ego, it's a problem. I can give an example. I remember those who are in Tanzania, I read a book written by Ali Hassan Mwinyi. He's the former president, His Excellency, former president of United Republic of Tanzania, Ali Hassan Mwinyi. Now, he was talking about leaders. He said there are 3 types of leaders in African context. The first one are the leaders who use everything on their means to go to the top. They can kill, they can slander, they scandalize, they can destroy, they can push whatsoever can be done to go to the top. Now, most of those people, they don't have vision. Their vision is on their own stomach. They want to achieve of power, but they don't have any ethos, any drive to become leaders. They become leaders by virtue of forcing power to them. Because we shall talk about leadership approaches, and then we shall understand what I'm saying about. But let me finish my example. So the first category are the people who want to go to the top using anything in their means to go there. The second category are the people who are called by the people in power, who are called by the people who are in power or are in leadership position to come and take certain leadership position. So they're just sitting at home or they're doing some other things. Then someone just called them, hey, I think can help us on this. They never dreamed to read anything. They've got their own way. Because of their qualities, they're doing some of their business, some of the things themselves. But someone sees them and the people in power decide to call them to join on the table of leadership. Now that was what Mwinyi experienced. Alias Mwinyi, he was just a teacher, and somebody called him to be a permanent secretary and minister of education. It was taken to State House, worrying about what would happen to his life, but just to get a good news that he's becoming in charge of the ministry. Now, such a person, really, he don't have his own mementos. He would like to see people in that ministry achieve the best of them, what they can be, achieving the mission and vision of the government. And the third category are the people who are called by people to be the leaders. Are the people who are called by the people to be the. For example, you might be going to your own village, and people in your own village say, okay, I think can be our member of parliament. So the elders in that place might call you and say, please help us to learn and help us to bring development to this place. Become our leader. So he talked about 3 types of the people. Now my aim is not to talk about 3 types of leaders or powers, but my aim is to talk about the importance of vision and mission in becoming a leader. A visionless leader, a missionless leader is never a leader and can never be a leader. Further to that, how do you summarize your life vision and mission? But before I go to this, maybe we interpret this boardroom meeting. And this chairman is saying, in terms of vision, this company has lost its way. Is anybody here good with Google Maps? Now, I don't know if you can derive the company vision through the Google Maps. No, because every company is unique. That's why you see the essence of lack of leadership. You might have gone through the school, you might have covered every education you want to talk about, but you are lacking leadership skills. And this is the purpose of this training, to be able to deduce your own vision and mission. So, what is your statement of the future? If you cannot light it, then you cannot become a leader. But don't worry, take time and derive from it. We shall talk about this subject of vision and mission in course of this coverage later. Now, this is an example, is vision statement. We are guided by heartfelt or a feeling, we are guided by the roadmap of future, whatever. Focus on quality, focus on people, focus on customer service. We will strive to deliver our services to our people, and so and so and so and so. This is a mission statement. But now we need to have a vision statement. We shall talk about this subject in details in the course of our coverage. So, to sum up, the first thing is your desire to read. I said about 3 components of leadership. First thing is your desire to lead. The second thing is integrity. I'm talking about summing up of leadership qualities. The first one is desire to read. And we went through some 13 questions which we worked together. You remember? We've gone through this one. And this is about desire to lead. So that's the first test, whether you are a good leader or you can become a good leader or not. The second one is what we call integrity. Now, integrity, it has got 3 areas. The first part of integrity is what we call, you need to be sincere. Sincerity. All these things, it is a cost. That's why you become a leader. Leadership is a cost you pay, the price you pay. Sincerity is telling the truth, is to accept responsibility for whatever you do, is to be honest. Does not mean that you cannot make mistakes, but is to take responsibility on the mistakes you've made. That is what we call sincerity. And we start from beginning. And that's why you can find a lot of fraud to most of people. People are not responsible. It's just like yesterday I was talking to a team of members from a certain NGO. And they're dealing with men who have impregnated girls and they've relentlessly run away from the responsibility of caring for those children. That's why we are saying always in leadership, do what you believe to be correct and don't do what you believe to be not correct. And after you've done anything among them, don't regret. So take responsibility. That is sincerity. Number 2 is consistency. That is, if you promise something, you must fulfill it. If you promise something, you must fulfill it. And you treat people of the same level of requirements in the same equal order. But also is to work hard to ensure that there is proper compliance to rules. That is consistency. How do you approach particular thing? People, they want to see someone who is consistent. Number 3, as part of integrity, is substance. You need to be careful never to disclose somebody's private information to the mass. If an employee has come to see you and talk to you, if an employee or your subordinate have come to you to talk about the problem he has with his wife, his children, don't go again to the public or to another employee when he comes to your office. This is very stupid character which I see in the most of people in the country. A person you go to visit him as a leader, instead of helping you, he will tell you about somebody's problems. He can say, let's meet at evening. And then they will try to describe some private issues of the people to tell you about them. So always I try to keep mum. I disagree with that behavior. Keep private employee information private. But also avoid gossip or complaining about somebody. I've seen a lot of leaders. They've got subordinate in the office or in the organization or even in their own setting. Now, instead of approaching that person and tell you, you've got this weakness, they're afraid. They'll find another employee or another person, talk badly about that person. That person is not delivering, is not very good, is not very strong, is weak, is this and that. Why don't you call that person and talk to him in a brotherly or sisterly manner? That's leadership. But also, make sure that you give credit to where credit is due. Don't just give credit. Don't just be a toka-toki. Make sure that wherever the credit is due, say, good job, keep it up. But also, a leader should be able to care about development of employees. Any person who is caring about only money instead of doing it, just a short line, you crash. And also on substance as part of integrity is to maintain clear communication and resolve conflict on time. So if you say someone has integrity, he has 3 traits. Number 1 is very sincere. Number 2 is consistent. Number 3, he has the substance. Now let's pause for a question to you. Are you a leader? What are your inborn qualities? What qualities you want to learn more? Which of the 3 essentials to leadership you have and which requires improvement? The 3 essentials, I mean the first one, that was desire to lead. The second one, that was about the integrity issue. Which one do you think you are best at? But also, have you ever lead your family? Are you the father of the family or a mother? Who is the leader between you and your husband? Why? Because not every father is a leader to the family, and not every mother is a follower. It depends what quality they exhibit to the children, because children are the first followers of a leader in a family. Now, if you behave roughly, if you are not sincere, if you don't have integrity, If you cannot be a leader in your family, then there's a problem. It starts from the very individual point and develop thoroughly until you become a leader of the society. That's why some people, they are mixing between position of power and leadership. Many are in a position of power, but they are not leaders. A person who cannot talk to a husband, cannot talk to the wife at home, and is a leader on a particular organization, is a senior top boss, but his family is scrambling, is never a leader. He's just having power because of that position. We shall talk about that later. But there's some key qualities that are very important that we need to remember about a leader, which you call them the traits. And I put on the screen for purpose of our remembrance. So maybe I put this clear so that you may be not confused. I've said about the qualities of a leader, which are 8, and we mentioned them very clearly and thoroughly. Number 1 is honest. Number 2 is commitment. Number 3 is inspiring. Number 4 is humility. Number 5 is fairness. Number 6 is positivity. Number 7 is confidence and communication. We don't have a problem there. But there are some traits. Those are some behavioral aspects of a leader, which not necessarily of the position, but the way they are. Number 1 is desire to lead. So there is a difference between the qualities of a leader and the traits of a leader. The traits are desire to lead. Number 2 is commitment to mission and vision of the family, business, organization, church, or career. Commitment. Number 3 is integrity. Now, those traits are the things which attract people. You get followers because of traits, that this man is serious on this. This man, he don't have meandering in his life. He's a person who is honest. He has got a high degree of integrity. Those are called leadership traits. So as we are covering on this, it is important to make a difference between the so-called traits and the so-called qualities. Definition of a trait is a distinguishing quality or characteristic. Typically, one belongs to a person. A genetically determined characteristics or character. That is what we call it traits. We said there are 3 in leadership: desire to lead, commitment to mission and vision of a family, organization, business, whatsoever. And lastly is what we call integrity, including sincerity, which makes a leader to become a leader. So going back to our question that we pose on the screen, which I want us to consider. Number 1 is, what are your inborn qualities? What are your traits? Do you have desire to lead? Are you committed? When you decide to do something, do you do it with all your effort and seriousness? No matter people agree or don't agree, accept or don't accept, when you are given a task to do you do it with all capabilities? But also, do you have integrity? Do you say what you mean and mean what you say? Now, what are the qualities? Among the 8 qualities, which one you want to learn most? But also, which of the 3 essentials of leadership do you have? Do you have desire to lead? Do you have commitment to the mission and vision? Or do you have integrity? Or both of them? To which level? My question is, have you ever read a family? Have you ever read your brothers and sisters? At school? At college? In the office? Even wherever you go to meet people, do they think that you can lead them? Can you develop yourself? And lastly, I want to ask this question again. And if you are listening on YouTube or wherever, please type it. What is the supreme leadership quality? What is the supreme leadership quality? What is supreme? To say this is a leader. Mahatma Gandhi, what did he have? What about Nelson Mandela? What did he have? What is the quality? It is integrity. And remember, we say integrity covers sincerity, that is telling the truth, acceptance of responsibility, be honest, acceptance of mistakes in taking your responsibility. Number 2, consistency, part of integrity. That is equal treatment to people. When you promise something, to do it, and working harder and harder than other employees in compliance to rules. But lastly is the so-called substance as part of integrity. That is keeping private information of others to be private. Someone can tell you about their thing. They're not supposed to be for public consumption. They're private thing. But also about caring, avoiding gossip or complaining about another person. Facing that person, giving credit when credit is due, caring about development of your employees or others, but also to maintain clear communication and resolve conflict. That's integrity. Yesterday I was talking to someone, I just mentioned the former president who late, His Excellency, late President John Pombe Magufuli, had one of the very serious character. When he calls you, if you get your number and he calls you as a leader, and he talks to you something, and in case he hears somewhere what he talked to you, you're in trouble. He cancels you from his memory. So the same happens to the people. If you're a leader, when an employee hears that what he talked to you in private, you put it in public, brothers, fellows, colleagues, you are losing your leadership credibility immediately. If people hears you gossip another member or person, they know, for they say someone who tells you about others is the one who tells others about you. So automatically, that's what we call substance. And that is a supreme quality of a leader. So typically, we can sum up more behavior extending to what we covered as we go on session 2, as the depth of leadership, which you talk about. I ask you the question, what are your inborn qualities? So if in case one is missing from this part, just put yours on your notebook. Number 1, a leader is patient. He's not hurrying because he wants to fulfill his mission. He's focused. A leader is compassionate. Feeling of others, empathetic and sympathetic. A leader is decisive. Decisions have consequences. But to be a true leader, you must decide. A leader has integrity. A leader is objective. A leader always has positive attitude. But a leader has high energy, has the desire and drive to achieve the best. How do you get high energy? Make sure that you get some exercise, you eat well, you sleep well. That's where a leader can derive his energy. Of course, there are days of sleepless night as a leader. But whenever you get occasion to get more energy, you need to match those things. Either you exercise, you do, both of them. Exercise, eat well, and sleep well. Very important to become top of whatever you do. But the leader, they call tact. That is, a leader to be able to move or to achieve the best, there should be tact. Now, what is tact? Is a skill or sensitivity in dealing with others or difficult issue. A leader should be sensitive of emotion of others. It's like thoughtfulness. It's like consideration. It's like delicacy. That's what a typical leader is. A leader is goal-oriented. He looks on vision and use mission to achieve there. A leader has a charisma. I was reading a magazine this afternoon, and it tells that very clearly, charisma increases the speed of work. But also, a leader should be able to communicate succinctly and effectively. We have seen a lot of examples of leaders who communicate poor. Even sometimes you may be in an organization. I remember in one of the organization, I was doing leadership training. The CEO announced that latecomers will face the music. Now, since the communication was not clear, everybody on next day came early. But one employee came late. And when I asked, he said, "You said we face the music." So I don't know the music, sir. Communication. But how many times when there is a communication by the CEO in the meeting, people misinterpret it? I remember when many people used to misinterpret the former president of Tanzania, His Excellency late John Pombe Magufuli. Because people are afraid. So they will implement even things which is not said about. Just to go and tell them, "No, I don't mean so." So it's very important to communicate effectively. We shall talk this topic later. A leader should be firm. When he's made up a decision, he should stand by it. When he's made up his mind about something, he should be able to defend it. No matter others will understand or will not understand. A leader should be fair, should treat people equally on the same measurement. A leader should have a bit of humor. Even if you don't have it, develop it. A positive joke to make people laugh. A leader is open. Cannot speak another person's evil, which he got a privilege to hear to another person. A leader is consistent. That is the approach he does. If he's there in the office at a certain time, he's there. He's got consistency on treatment of people, consistency on his approach, consistency on whatever he do. The leader should have a certain level of ambition. But ambition towards the vision. Ambition means to go beyond the routine, beyond what is properly defined, to move beyond that to ensure that you fulfill your dream. A leader should be fearless. Fear is bad. Fear is dangerous. Let me tell you, whether you fear or you don't fear, you will die. Whether you fear or you don't fear, bad things can come to you. So it's better not to fear and be strong. Because fear prevents. Fear nobody, respect everybody. I repeat, fear no one, respect everyone. But if you feel you've got fear, remove it from you. You are born as a unique person. You are born as a distinguished person. There is no one else like you in this world. Everyone you see is also born. Is not God. Whatever position you have, it can crash. So don't fear a person. Never fear anything. Never fear anybody. But respect everybody. But respect everybody. I put the word respect and underline it. Because fear is contrary to the qualities of a leader. If you don't have integrity, you'll be fearing. If you're not objective, you don't know where you're going, what is your really direction, you'll fear. If you're not fair, you'll fear. If you're not open, you'll fear. So why do you develop the characters and qualities that makes you fear? So one of the things I want to build to the people who are in this training is be fearless like lion. But be tactical. Be sensitive. But develop the mindset of fearless person. It's a matter of training. We shall talk about confidence in the long run later. So as we enter to session 2, I want to have some catchy phrase. Number 1 is on the right side of your screen that says, leaders who don't listen will eventually be surrounded by people who have nothing to say, and they become the rules very soon. A leader should be able to listen. If there is one skill you could build as a leader, is to make sure that you've got the hearing ear. You talk less, you listen much. Now, is a manager a leader? We shall talk it later. But some signs of a bad leader, manager. Number 1, they want output without giving guidance. They could just talk. They are talkative unnecessarily. But what they want to achieve, they can't guide it. They don't want to check performance of the subordinate. They are the people who can speak badly about others in the office or in the organization. They are very keen on politics. In this coverage, you shall talk about the politics, management of politics as a leader, so that you may grow to their position in course of coverage. They always take credit. They are in the forefront to show that they are themselves who are intelligent, who have done the best instead of a team. That is very poor leadership quality. They discourage the team. They always blame others, and themselves they want to be angels. They micromanage. They don't want to see creativity. They use favoritism as a means of stick and carrot method to the organization. They would like to hide information from the team so that people make a mistake and they are happy with that. Always, they start working after the working hours. And therefore, they expect everybody to stay there after working hours because they are disorganized. So they can't work during the routine hours in the name that they are busy. And they want every member who has been working since morning to stay with them until midnight. They are disorganized completely. They can't appreciate good work. They think that they are surrounded by people who are so stupid with low emotional intelligence. And when you tell them the truth about themselves, they will become angry. They will defend themselves. Avoid this. So I don't know if you're a leader or not, but depends on which organization you are. If you have got those qualities, that's dangerous. So from there, before we go to session 2, 3, I would like us to have a break. 5 minutes a break again. And then soon we'll come back to continue with where we ended. As we go to difference between a leader and a manager. What are the qualities? What are the distinguished features of someone who calls himself a leader and a manager? Let's break for 5 minutes. All right. So I welcome you back as we continue with our training this afternoon. And our third session is about whether you want to be a leader and a manager, and what the difference between a leader and a manager. It's important to a very clear understanding of this. Does not mean those as inseparable roles. No. To be a good manager, you need to be a good leader. To be a good leader, you need to have to be a good manager. So it is not necessary that to be a good manager, you need to be a good leader. There is a very close relationship between a leader and a manager. A manager do the things right, but a leader do the right things. What does it mean? A manager will follow the company rules end to end, but a leader will think before implementing the rule. A manager is crazy about fulfilling the company rules. A leader is crazy about taking into human consideration on fulfilling the company rules. A manager can be told, go and kill everybody in the village. Will go very fast and kill everybody. A leader will think, why should I kill? Can't I find another way? A leader could find even an option for some people to escape. But a manager will do everything just the way they told him to do. We understand we've got many leaders who are in leadership position but are not leaders. They are managers. They occupy leadership position but they are not leaders. They don't have qualities of being a leader. Always, a good manager might be a worse leader, but normally and usually the case is a good leader is usually a good manager. It might be confusing, but I will tell you. Let's see, what really do you make it? The principal aim of a manager is to maximize output of organization through the administrative implementation. A manager is very apt on organizing, planning, controlling, and directing. By the way, what organization are doing is only those four functions. Those are called 4 management functions. So you need to remember them because typically as a leader, you need to know them. OPCD, organizing, that's management function. Any management you see anywhere in the world is about 4 things. They should be very good on organizing. That's why there are offices. That's why there are cleaners. That's why there are computers. That's why there are desks. That's why people can organize. They should plan. They should look ahead. They should have vision to fulfill it. They should be able to control. And also, they should be able to direct. So leadership in management role, it falls under directing. Leadership, a manager must be a manager as well as a leader. And they need formal authority to be effective. But a leader, not necessarily formal authority. A leader, because of the qualities and the so-called abilities, they are able to get fellowship of the people. Mwalimu Nyerere never had an army to get independence of Tanzania. He didn't have power. He didn't have people. He didn't have anything, but he had leadership qualities. that made everybody, rich or poor, young, small, to follow him. Nelson Mandela, after coming from prison, he was nobody. But the qualities of leadership he exalted, he showed the people, made the people to see as an icon than any other. So a manager would need certain level of formal authority, but a leader, whether there is authority or no authority, he will be able to achieve the goal and objective. We shall talk about it. So typically, let me sum up this way so that we may be more apt. Leadership is about people. Manager is about things. We manage things, we lead the people. So you cannot be a leader of things. Things you need to organize, you need to plan, you need to control. But to direct, to get followership, you need to be a leader. So there is no separable point. To be a good leader, you must be a good manager. Naturally. But you're not supposed to have management skills to become a leader. But leadership skills are very important for a manager to achieve the best results. Because managers, and most people, that's how they are. We are trained to be managers. The school we go, we become managers, but we don't have the aptness and the ability to manage people. That's why we say that leadership is about people. Leaders are observant and sensitive to people. They know teams. They've got confidence with it. And leaders always motivate others to achieve the best. I remember one of the incidents in Tanzania, it happens in Morogoro, whereas the managers, please, if I say managers, I mean people in leadership position but who are not leaders. I repeat, people in leadership position but are not leaders because they don't have qualitative characteristics of leadership. The original commissioner and the executives, the district executive director, they decided to take people out of the marketplace, to bring people to the marketplace by taking them out of the street. Now they use a lot of effort to build up a very good, well-looking market structure. When time was due, they knew that they could use the force to bring people to work from that area which they built. Now they overuse the force. They are trying to put people like the mechanized. They never consider humanity. They are not sensitive to the people. Instead of operating through the education, through the people, the leaders of the people, they decide to approach it using the brutal of police machinery. In the end of the day, they were both sacked because the things they did to other human, it was not leadership. So we wish people should be good managers, but should have leadership insight and skills so that they could consider and be observant and sensitive to people. And that is leadership. That is leadership. Now let's pause for some few questions as we go to next session. What the difference between leadership skills and management skills? Here in this training, we are training about leadership skills. Why? Because when you went to the college, you were trained about management skills. I'm talking to people with different faculties, different capabilities, and different level of knowledge. So at school, they teach you about management skills, but there is no better curricula that teaches you about leadership skills. And that's the reason we see that this is important to engross leadership skills to the people. Mind you, leadership and management have very common aspects. You need to know both, but also need to know the separation between the two. Management skills are the skills required to manage resource, to deliver the task, product, or service. If you're an engineer, you need to know how to organize the tractor, the grader, whatsoever resource, including the human resource. Now, where leadership skills comes in is how do you motivate the people, not the materials, not the grader, not the cars, not the chairs, not the wood whatsoever, not the gravel, but people. The skills to engage, to motivate and persuade people to work for you to achieve the best. So we manage tasks and we lead people. We manage tasks and we lead people. And that's what the difference between a leader and a manager. Because of the company's position, many people have become managers, but they need to be trained on leadership skills so that they can deliver the best output. That's why some people, they will hire a manager. He will frustrate people. He will say, I don't care whether you go from this company or don't go. I heard even some people in the government position, they could say that, government has no loss. Whether you go from here or you don't go, we don't care. And typically people went away. But those people could help to motivate and drive the economy of the country to the better future. Now we have got a lot of managers rather than being leaders. And that causes a gross problem to our systems and processes. A manager thinks short term. He don't have the long term goals. He can come to the organization and meet the boss's demand. He will listen to what the boss wants to hear, ignoring other people. But in short term, because in the long run, people want to work with you. If people got alternative, they will run away from you. But what to talk about leadership is how do you make those people to continue talking to you, even if the situation is difficult. Managers, they think tactics, but short term. But leaders, they think strategically. Managers do say how and when. I want this tomorrow morning. Leaders, they say, what is this and why do you need it? Managers, they look at bottom line, but leaders, they look afar horizon. A manager are very poor customer service people. They don't care about customers, but a leader will think about what customer perspective is. If you find someone mistreats a customer, is a poor leader. Because customers are the ethos of business elevation and growth. Managers will focus on improving product and processes. A leader will focus on how do we bring innovation, new things. A manager thinks about quality as a point of success, but a leader will think about how do you have the very professional, very committed employees to achieve the results. A leader will supervise. If you don't do this, you'll be beaten. But a leader will influence. People will feel to follow him no matter what. A manager gains authority because of the boxes in the organization. But a leader is because of qualitative characteristics as a leader. Whether there is a box or not, he's just a leader. Is a person with certain qualities that can be emulated by others to be the best and achieve the best. So let's go to the assignment this evening again. People don't like your assignment, but you're a leader now. A leader, you should not be a complaining person. Change. If you're a manager, you want to pass exam. This aim of this training is not to pass exam. The aim of this training is to get the best from you, so that together we can achieve the best we. So question number 1. Consider your workplace or business, or even at family level. Do you see managers? Okay, mention them, 2 or 3 of them. I know the names are coming very fast. All right. Do you see leaders? Yes. What the difference? Now that's you do it as food for thought for yourself. And many times in some cases, the answer is very straightforward. Sales manager, IT manager, they're all people authoritarian. Most of them, they don't know about people relationship. They're very poor on people relationship. Accountant, etc. Sit down and draw your own future company, or whether you're working, organization chart from chairman, chief executive, directors, managers to supervisors, and think about who are the leaders and who are the managers. Effective leaders are those who can successfully influence the way other people influence themselves. People naturally, they want to do when they say. They're lovable. And we say a common way to communicate the leadership is through organization chart. But unfortunately, most of people in the organization chart, they are not leaders. Now, you need to get me correct. Being a manager is very important, and management skill is very important, because you need to know how to manage resource, to take care of the money, company's money, to ensure timely banking, to ensure timely expenditure, to ensure relationship, to ensure what is printed, to ensure so and so is done. It's very important. But now what we are training is about human relationship. To be able to use human resource to achieve your organization objective. Because no matter what you build, are the people who are there. They are the one who can support, but they are the one who will be the foremost to enjoy the benefits or results of whatever decision is done. Albert Einstein sometimes say, which I want you to take this as your take home. Stay away from negative people. They're a problem for every solution. People want solution. As a leader, your mindset should be solution-oriented, not problem-oriented. You should think solution-mindedness. How do you influence people? And this in leadership we call it the art of persuasion and negotiation techniques. How do you make people to buy your vision and your strategy? You see, the influence is the ability to make or persuade others or negotiate to reach agreement. How? The first one is negotiation. You want to implement something. You want to get someone to help you to do something. You're supposed to have some top negotiation skills. You need to listen to them before you tell them. You need to ensure that you work on a win-win situation, not win-lose. It's very short term. And you need to know whether to compromise. Not everything you need to compromise. No. Leadership does not mean to make people very happy. No. But to make people to work on objective willingly. Always be open. If there is objection, don't fight those people. But work with them to see whether can you agree. That's why I say I insisted the aim of having the hearing ear. A leader should have a listening capabilities than talking capabilities. He should talk for a purpose, but he should listen strategically. You need to get the points from other people and also be positive. Don't think someone when he talks is just against you. No. Think another way around. Always use positive language, but also persuade rather than forcing. It won't help. So this is why I talk about persuading and negotiation. In persuading, this is what you can cover, and in persuading, this is what you can cover. Leadership is about influencing. Is ability to leverage influence to achieve a common goal. Ability to use influence to achieve a goal or vision or objective. Let's make an end to session 1 and session 2. And this closes our session for today. We shall continue again next weekend as we cover session 3, 4, and 5. Till then, thank you very much for listening. Please join us or register on our website to gain more understanding about the profession of management consulting. Please visit our page or visit our website. Request for the application form. We don't want just you to hear, we want also to be engaged and actually get certified. The aim is not to get certification, but the aim is to make sure that you understand the training. Notwithstanding, we want to recognize your effort. Please, you may call us on the number that is shown on the screen, or you may visit our website www.imct.or.tz. Still next Saturday. Thank you very much for your attention and wishing you all the best. Thank you. Bye.